Hello everyone, let's deep dive into some cool stuff and how our brain control our eating habits. Eating seems pretty straightforward, right? But there is actually a ton happening behind the scene in our brain every time we feel hungry or full. Let's break it down and chat about the different part of our brain involved, how stress and emotion can mess with our eating, and what's up with food addiction and obesity. So first of all, there is little area in our brain called hypothalamus. Think of it as the command center for hunger and feeling full. It gets signal from all over our body about our energy needs. So there are these neurons in the hypothalamus that are either make us feel hungry or tell us we have had enough. The paraventricular nucleus and the lateral hypothalamic area are also part of this process. The paraventricular nucleus help balance our energy by regulating hormones that affect our appetite. And the lateral hypothalamic area is often called the feeding center because it helps kick-start eating when we need energy. Next up is the brainstem, so especially a part called nucleus of the solitary tract. This area gets message from our stomach through the vagus nerve. It's like a hotline that the brainstem is crucial for making quick decision about eating. There is also these things called the dorsal vagal complex in the brainstem. It handles signal from the gut and helps us feel full by responding to hormone released when we eat. And there is the brain reward system. This system makes it feel good, especially when it's something tasty. When we eat something delicious, dopamine, which is like a feel-good chemical, is released in a part of brain called the nucleus accumbens. This makes us want to eat more. The ventral tegmental area and prefrontal cortex work together to motivate us to eat and help control our impulse. If this system gets out of whack, it can lead to overeating. There is also the insula, which help us enjoy food by combining signal from gut with our emotional and thoughts. Now, how does our brain know when we are hungry or full? It's all about hormone. Ghrelin, known as the hunger hormone, is produced by the stomach and tell our brain we are hungry. On the flip side, hormone like leptin and insulin signal the brain that we are full. Leptin comes from the fat cell and the insulin comes from the pancreas. So other hormones like peptide, YY and GLP-1, which is hot topic nowadays to weight lose, tell us we are full after eating. There is also these things called the gut-brain axis, which is the communication network between our stomach and brain, neural, hormonal and immune pathway, and even our gut bacteria play a big role. The vagus nerve act like a telephone line, sending message from the gut to the brain. There is also the enteric nervous system, often called the second brain, which control digestion and talk to central nervous system. Short chain fatty acid produced by gut bacteria can influence our peptide and energy balance by acting on gut brain axis. So bacteria, the healthy bacteria are not your enemy, they are our friend. They are helping us to digest food and produce energy. Now let's talk about the stress and emotion. So stress can really mess up with our eating habits. Some people eat more when they get stressed, while others eat less. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, that is called HPA axis, control our response to stress. When we are stressed, it releases cortisol, which can make us crave high calorie foods. The amygdala, a part of the brain that processes emotion, can trigger stress related eating by influencing the hypothalamus and reward system. Then there is emotional eating. which happen when we eat to deal with our feeling rather than because we are hungry. Negative emotion like sadness or anxiety can make us crave comfort food high in fat and sugar. So prefrontal cortex and anterior cingulate cortex help control our impulses and process emotion. When these areas are not working well, it's harder to resist emotional eating. And what about the food addiction and obesity? So food addiction works similarly to substance addiction. Highly palatable foods like junk food can cause the brain to release a lot of dopamine, making us want more even if it's bad for us. This is known as hedonic hunger, which drives us to eat for pleasure rather than to satisfy physiological hunger. The endocannabinoid system also plays a crucial role in food addiction by enhancing the taste of food, making us eat more. So obesity is linked to change in the brain, especially in the area that handle reward control and energy balance. People with obesity might have a heightened response to food related stimuli, making them more likely to overeat. The heightened reactivity is associated with increased activity in nucleus accumbens and other reward related brain regions. So obesity also associated with inflammation and oxidative stress, which can affect brain function. So chronic inflammation can impair the function of hypothalamus and other brain involved in the energy balance, contributing to the development of obesity and metabolic disorder. Let's think about how we can use this knowledge to improve our eating habits and overall health. Knowing that stress and emotion play a big role in our eating behaviors, it might help us make more mindful choices. For example, if you notice you are reaching for a snack when you are stressed, it could be worth taking a moment to check with yourself. Are you actually hungry or are you looking for comfort? Sometimes just being aware of this can help us make a better decision. Speaking of comfort, it's also important to have healthier coping mechanism for stress. If stress eating is a challenge, finding other ways to manage stress like exercising, meditating, or even talking to a friend can be really beneficial. These activities can help reduce the need to turn to food for comfort. Another interesting point is about our gut microbiota, the tiny organism living in our intestine. These bacteria not only help us digestion but also send signal to our brain that can affect our mood and appetite. Eating a diet rich in fiber, fruits, vegetables, and fermented foods can promote a healthy gut microbiome, and this in turn can help regulate our hunger and improve our overall well-being. And let's not forget about the importance of sleep. Poor sleep can throw off the balance of hormones like ghrelin and leptin, making us hungrier and less satisfied after eating. So getting enough quality sleep is another piece of puzzle in maintaining healthy eating habits. So now what about the food addiction? So understanding the certain food can have an addictive as drug alternative. Over time, our taste preference can change and we can start to enjoy and crave healthier food instead. When it comes to the obesity, it's important to remember that it's not just about the willpower. There are complex interactions between our brain, hormone, and environment that contribute to weight gain. Recognizing this complexity can help reduce the stigma around obesity and encourage more compassionate and effective approaches to treatment. For example, interventions that combine dietary changes with psychological support and lifestyle modification tend to be more successful than those that focus solely on diet. Physical activity is another key player in the whole scenario. Regular exercise doesn't just burn calories, It also helps regulate our hormone, improve our mood, and boost our brain function. Exercise can even enhance the sensitivity of our brain reward system, making healthy activity more rewarding and potentially reducing the appeal for unhealthy food. Lastly, it's worth mentioning the social aspect of eating. We often eat in the social setting, and our choices can be influenced by the people around us. Eating with others can make meals more enjoyable and help us slow down, which can improve digestion and help us recognize when we are full. However, social pleasure can also lead us to overeat or make less healthy choices. So being mindful of these influence can help us navigate social eating situation more effectively. So in a nutshell, our eating habits are influenced by a complex interplay of brain signal, hormone, emotion, gut bacteria, and social factors. By understanding this process, we can make more informed choice about what, when, and how we eat. It's all about finding a balance what works for us individually and help us feel our best. Pretty amazing how much our brain is involved in something as everyday eating, right? So one fascinating aspect is the role of genetic and environmental factor in our eating behavior and preferences. So genetic can influence how our brain responds to food, our metabolism, and even our taste preferences. For example, some people might have a genetic predisposition to prefer sweet or fatty food, while the other might naturally prefer savory or bitter flavor. Understanding our genetics tendency can help us tailor our diet and lifestyle are more effective and sustainable. So environmental factors also play a significant role. The availability and marketing of food can greatly influence our eating habit. We live in an environment where high calorie processed food are often more accessible and affordable than healthier options. So opsogenic environment can make it challenging to maintain a balanced diet. However, by being mindful of these influences, we can make more deliberate choices such as cooking more meal at home, choosing whole foods over processed food, and planning our meal and snacks in advance to avoid impulsive eating. Another important element is the role of education and awareness. Learning about the nutrition, understanding food level, and knowing how different food affect your body can empower us to make healthier choices. Education can also dispel common myths about dieting and nutrition, helping us to adopt a more balanced, sustainable approach to it. So behavioral strategy can also be incredibly useful in managing our eating habit. Lastly, let's not overlook the importance of self-compassion and patience. Changing our eating habit and improving our relationship with food is a journey that makes time and effort. It's essential to be kind to ourselves and recognize that setbacks are a natural part of the process instead of being discouraged by occasional lapses. We can view them as an opportunity to learn and grow. To sum it all up, understanding the neuroscience behind eating gives us valuable insight into how our brain, hormone, emotion, and environments influence our eating behavior. By combining this knowledge with practical strategy and supportive approach, we can make healthier choices, improve our relationship with food, and enhance our overall well-being. It's all about the finding a balance that works to us individually and help us feel our best. Isn't it incredible how such our brain and body work together to regulate something as essential as eating? So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.